How you doing, Steven?
I'm doing all right. I'm so far things seem to be going well with the movie. People seem to like it, so that makes me happy. Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you, after seeing both Psycho Goreman and Frankie Freako, I think you totally knocked it out of the park with Deathstalker. I
Oh,
absolutely love this movie. And of course, being a fan of the original, I knew that you were gonna bring something fresh and new and exciting to this film, and I gotta commend you on that.
oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. I am, of course, you're tackling a franchise that's beloved in genre circles, like something like Deathstalker. I'm always nervous how people are going to react to it, how fans are going to react to it. And yeah, I definitely took a big swing and made my own movie, but I feel like Deathstalker is a franchise that if there was ever a franchise to do that, it's probably this one. And so, yeah, I'm happy to hear that it landed with you. That makes me feel really good.
That's awesome. And I gotta tell you, you did the perfect casting with Daniel Bernhardt in as Deathstalker
I,
because I've been a fan of his since Bloodsport, like 3 decades ago, and I was glad to see that he's up in center stage again in the lead role. What was it like working with Daniel in terms of, how did you pitch this to him, and what was it like working with him on the set as well?
it's so funny because we're like such different personalities. It's what I love about working in the film industry is so many people I work with and am like very tight with and have tight relationships with are people that like typically on the street we would not give each other like a second thought. Like somebody like a muscle action man like Daniel really wouldn't interact with a dork like me any other day. But once we started chatting about this movie, once we got connected, we just bonded so tightly and just like got along so well. And in how different we are, it was just such a funny, odd coupling, the two of us. And on this movie, our sensibilities really complemented each other really well. I just love that he brings so much like real Hollywood experience, like of just like the industry, like the highs and the lows, all of it. I think is just like really has been really helpful to me as a filmmaker, and I've like learned a lot from him. And also, all of that has informed the character as well. That was my reason for casting him. Was I was watching Bloodsport for the Dark Kumite, and same as you, I've been a fan for decades, and I was just like, man, I gotta like put this guy in something because I could just feel it even in that movie. He's selling it so hard, and that's what this needed. I needed a guy that was committed and also just the reality of like this is going to be a low budget movie shooting up in northern Canada seemed like a guy who shot well. I mean, I think he's in Bulgaria right now. Like this guy goes all over to shoot his movies. So,
Yeah.
I knew his experience would click with this type of project really well. So yeah, it was just awesome working with him. I want to put him in everything now because he's just so fun. Everything he does entertains me. Uh, yeah, it's like I have my own action figure basically, and I can just like mash him into other action figures when I make my movies.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you put him in one battle after another throughout the film. I love that you did that because it's like he even told me this morning, it reminded him of John Wick. Like the world, everyone, all the assassins are going to come after you, and here it is, like action scene, little bit of like a little bit of the non-action scene, action scene. I love that dynamic, and I love the fact that Daniel got to do something a little different in terms of action because as
Yes.
you and I both know, we're used to him doing these high kicks and all this stuff. And I like that he got to use this, do something with the sword and kind of do different forms of, different stuff with rather than the usual stick. So I gotta say, great job.
Yeah, well, and also it's like it's Daniel and his sensibilities up against me and like the Steve Kostanski movie universe, which is all rubber monsters
Yeah.
nonsense that like every day he'd come in and be like, "What are we doing? What is this thing?" I'd be like, "Oh yeah, in this scene there's like these like worm things coming out of the ground and they're biting at you and this happens." Like I could tell it was an adventure for him because every day was some weird thing he was up against. So it wasn't as simple as just like, oh, he's going in and he's fighting another guy in a black suit. It's like, no, now he's fighting a Cyclops mummy that can teleport. Now he's fighting a two-headed troll. The variety was really important to me. I was very much inspired by Ninja Scroll, which is a
Oh yeah.
great template for like essentially a boss monster movie. Like you're just it's one boss battle after another. And also Shogun Assassin was a big reference point for me too. The idea of like going on a journey and just every every step you take, there's a new obstacle, a new foe that's like worse and more difficult than the previous one. So yeah, it was super fun being able to throw Daniel against like every every type of villain, every type of scenario.
Yeah,
Um,
and I gotta say that big sword was a highlight for me. Like that came out of because that came out of nowhere. Like, how did you design that sword? What was the inspiration behind that gigantic sword that he uses?
well, I was watching Sword and the Sorcerer, and there's that three-bladed sword in that movie, and me, having a limited imagination was like, what if it had four blades? And then I just kind of designed it around that idea. I did like a very quickie, like 3D rendering of it, and the art department actually just instead of them trying to interpret my design, they just printed that out, like 3D printed it, glued it together, and was like, "Here's your crazy sword, you weirdo." So, yeah, it was not built to last either. There was definitely moments on set where he would swing it around and it would just like fly apart. Um, but that's pretty standard for a Steve Kostanski movie too. Everything's held together with hot glue and zip ties. It really moments like that were not far off from me shooting Manborg in my parents' basement with like costumes made out of garbage I found in the dumpster. So yeah,
I gotta say, this is a great time for the sword and sorcery genre to come back because we just had Red Sonja, also the reboot, a couple months
yeah.
ago. And they did MJ Bassett did a fantastic job on that, like changing the whole story up and making it fresh and exciting. And here you did it with Deathstalker. I think it's time for more of this stuff to come back,
I
hands
mean,
down.
and at this budget level too, like I
Yeah,
think specifically lower budget fantasy needs to make a comeback because it has such a specific vibe that like you'll never get it on Rings of Power or that Game of Thrones spin-off
yeah.
or Lord of the Rings. Like that stuff's so big and it's great, but it's the budget stuff, budget fantasy has such a specific feel that I like. It's especially with Deathstalker I even feel a little bit of like Xena and Hercules, like 90s fantasy TV as
Yeah.
well, which I have a lot of nostalgia for. So, yeah, I hope that there's more stuff like this. I mean, maybe a little more money than we had on this one because we did not have much, but still keep it low, keep it tight so that you still have to be innovative and creative. Um, and yeah, I just think it leads to really fun, interesting films.
That's great. And I'm going to say this right now before we go. I hope that people do see this in theaters on October 10th because I, for one, would want to see you and Daniel come back for Deathstalker 2. Hands down, I want to see that happen. So I am putting everyone out on a notice right now. Guys need to see Deathstalker October 10th in theaters. Steven, you
Yeah,
did a fantastic job, man.
thank you. I really appreciate it, man. Great hearing that from a fan of the franchise means a lot. It's very validating. Makes me feel like all that hard work paid off. So I'm glad you enjoyed it, and we'll do our best to get more Deathstalker in front of your eyeballs as quickly as possible. Just people
Awesome.
got to go see it. They got to get butts in
Yes.
the seat.
So everyone, Deathstalker, October 10th, go see it in theaters. Steven, thank you so much again for taking the time to talk about it and can't wait to see more from you down the road.
Thanks, man. Been great chatting with you. Really appreciate it. Thank
All
you.
right. Stay awesome.
Thanks, man.
All
All
right, take
right.
care.
Talk on the next one. Bye.
All right.